Let's rewind the clock for a second. Picture this. Way before tiaras, Netflix documentaries, and global headlines, Meghan Markle was just another actress in Hollywood, hustling for roles. But she wasn't just another actress. She landed her golden ticket, Rachel Zane on Suits, the paralegal with brains, beauty, and enough sass to outtalk any lawyer in the room. That role was Meghan's moment, her origin story, her chance to etch herself into Hollywood's memory as the girl who had it all. And oh, how she wanted it remembered like that. Glamorous pencil skirts, sharp one-liners, and that electric will they won't they tension with Mike Ross. It was her It Girl chapter. But here's the twist. Today, that story is being rewritten. And let's just say, this new version, it's not the romantic comedy fairy tale Meghan wanted. It's darker, pettier, more like Mean Girls Legal Edition. And guess who's holding the pen to rewrite this whole narrative? None other than Lady Colin Campbell. Yes, Lady C herself, that hurricane in pearls who lives to spill tea hotter than Buckingham Palace scandals on a Sunday morning. Only this time, she's not taking swings at the royals. Oh no, she's going for Meghan's Hollywood past. According to Lady C, and let's be real, this woman doesn't sneeze without a source or three, Meghan didn't just act on Suits, she allegedly ruled the set like a one-woman monarchy. Think silent treatments, power plays, and invisible social hierarchies. Crew members didn't describe a grateful actress lucky for a big break. Nope, they described someone who walked in like she already owned the room and made sure everyone else knew it too. The word Lady C claims kept popping up from cast and crew. Not diva, not difficult, but mean girl. Ouch, that stings harder than a bad Rotten Tomatoes score. Imagine it, Meghan charming and glowing on camera, but the second the director yelled, "Cut," the warmth supposedly switched off. People whispered that she could size someone up in 5 seconds flat, deciding instantly if you mattered or if you were invisible. And that's where the real mess begins, because Meghan's entire post-royal brand has been built on this carefully crafted image, the misunderstood woman, the underdog who rose above cruelty. She's painted herself as the one who endured toxic environments, the palace, the tabloids, unsupportive family members, yet still found her voice. But what if, just what if, she wasn't just surviving the noise? What if Meghan was the noise all along? Even back in Hollywood, one crew member recalled how Meghan's silent treatment was legendary. You didn't need to be told she was upset. You could feel it in the air, thick and icy. Another joked you could set your watch by her moods. And then there was the rumor of Meghan's private inner circle on set. If you were in, it was laughs, inside jokes, and smiles all around. But if you were out, forget eye contact. You were a ghost. Still sound like harmless gossip? Well, here's where it gets juicy. Suits is suddenly having a massive revival, streaming on Netflix and Peacock. A whole new audience is binging it like it's 2013 all over again. But now they're watching through a brand new lens. Lady C's allegations, every smirk Meghan's Rachel Zane gives, every side glance, every sassy clapback. People are now whispering, was that acting or was that just Meghan? And behind the scenes, Meghan's team is reportedly in full-blown panic mode. PR experts whisper it's crisis management central, because this isn't just a silly tabloid headline that can be ignored. This is Lady C, a woman who moves through both royal and Hollywood circles like a ninja. And when she talks, people don't just listen, they talk back. For Meghan, this isn't just about her image anymore. It's about credibility. How can she continue branding herself as a champion of kindness, empathy, and healing if people start believing she was the mean girl all along? If those Suit stories keep leaking, her whole phoenix rising from the ashes narrative crumbles under the weight of its own contradictions. And in Hollywood, contradictions don't just ruin reputations, they burn bridges. Bridges you need to walk into your next pitch meeting. Behind those glossy California photo shoots and carefully curated interviews, Meghan's team is running around with buckets of water, desperately trying to put out a wildfire. But this blaze is spreading faster than they can spin it. And at the center of the storm sits Lady C, sipping her tea like she knew exactly what she was doing. But here's the real kicker. The silence. The dead, uncomfortable silence from Meghan's Suits castmates. If Meghan was truly the glowing light on that set, now would be the moment for her old colleagues to step up and defend her, right? A tweet, an Instagram story, a quick quote saying, "She was lovely to work with." But nope, nothing. Not one of them has spoken. And that silence? It screams louder than any statement could. Meanwhile, the internet has gone into detective mode. Fan accounts are pulling old Suits interviews, dissecting micro-expressions, awkward pauses, and inside jokes like they're forensic experts at a crime scene. A 2014 panel clip suddenly went viral where a co-star joked about Meghan always getting her way. At the time, it was a harmless joke. Now, People are treating it like a breadcrumb in a much bigger, messier story. And just when people thought this couldn't get any messier, Lady C dropped another bombshell. On live TV, with that signature aristocratic smirk, she shared a chilling little story. Allegedly, Meghan once asked producers to rewrite a co-star's lines after the director praised them too much during rehearsals. The lines mysteriously vanished. The actor's big moment? Trimmed. Gone. Coincidence? Maybe. But the idea that Meghan couldn't stand someone else stealing even a shred of the spotlight, that hit differently. Suddenly, people were rewatching Suits scenes not as entertainment, but as evidence. And then came the now infamous chair story. According to Lady C, Meghan once found an extra sitting in her designated chair between takes. Meghan allegedly walked over and with icy sweetness told them, "I think you're in the wrong seat, darling." Moments later, the chair was removed entirely. The second that story hit the internet, it exploded. Not because it was scandalous in the traditional sense, but because it was so specific. Too specific to dismiss as just gossip. Within hours, the memes started flooding timelines. Chairgate, clips of Rachel Zane with captions like "Don't sit there, sweetheart" went viral. And here's the thing. In Hollywood, image is everything. The tiniest story can snowball into a reputation. Lighting changes that delayed filming, suddenly framed as diva demands, tracking her co-star's popularity on social media, now painted as insecurity, treating crew members like background props. Whispers say classic mean girl behavior. None of these stories have ever been fully proven. But the most dangerous part, none have been confidently denied either. Meghan's defenders argue this is all just sexism, that strong, assertive women get slapped with the difficult label, while men in the same position get called leaders. And sure, that argument works until you notice the pattern, because these aren't stories of leadership. They're stories of manipulation, emotional coldness, social chess games played at other people's expense. And that's exactly where Meghan's carefully curated Hollywood comeback starts to wobble. Her post-royal tour has been built on themes like kindness, resilience, and female empowerment. But the mean girl narrative? It pokes gaping holes in all of it. You can preach empathy until the cows come home, but if your past whispers cruelty, the public will eventually start listening to the whispers. And thanks to Suits blowing up on streaming platforms, every fresh binge watcher becomes another potential judge. They're not just watching Rachel Zane anymore. They're watching Meghan Markle, the woman behind the role, with a skeptical eye. And once the audience starts doing that, winning them back is nearly impossible. But Lady C wasn't done. Oh no, she never is. She teased that she had a third story up her sleeve, something involving a Suits guest star who apparently became a little too popular for Meghan's comfort. And when the story dropped, people braced themselves. According to Lady C's source, Meghan quietly went to producers complaining that the guest star was disrupting her rhythm. The producers didn't buy it, so the actor stayed. But weeks later, their screen time mysteriously shrank. A punchline disappeared. Their names slid further down the call sheet. Whether true or not, the damage was done. This wasn't just about icy moods or diva requests anymore. This painted Meghan as someone willing to play chess with other people's careers, moving pieces off the board if they threatened her spotlight. And even Meghan's fence-sitters, the ones who defended her before, started shifting uncomfortably. Diva behavior? Forgivable. We've seen it 1,000 times, but sabotage? That's a whole different monster. But here's the cruel twist. Meghan's silence wasn't helping. Her castmates' silence wasn't helping. Even Harry's silence wasn't helping. Because when gossip fills a vacuum, it grows louder, heavier, nastier. And the absence of denial? It starts to feel like an admission. And let's not forget, this all comes while Meghan is actively trying to relaunch her Hollywood career. She's out there pitching projects, building Archewell, branding herself as the face of compassion. But how can you sell compassion when your old coworkers are whispering cruelty? It's the ultimate contradiction, and Hollywood hates contradictions. They don't just ruin reputations, they ruin opportunities. Because when you walk into a pitch meeting, producers aren't just thinking about your talent. They're thinking, do we want the PR baggage that comes with her? Do we want the internet's mean girl memes attached to our show? Do we want to gamble on her brand when it's wobbling like this? Behind the glossy magazine spreads, behind the sunlit Montecito interviews, Meghan's team is in panic mode. Every new story from Lady C or some anonymous crew member is another fire they have to scramble to smother. But the truth, they're not smothering anything. They're just looking frantic. And in Hollywood, frantic never sells well. The fans have noticed too. They're not just talking about Meghan the actress anymore. They're dissecting Meghan the person. Every raised eyebrow, every clipped answer in old interviews is now evidence. A pattern. Proof. One X thread went viral breaking down Meghan's facial expressions during old Suits panels, calling it the Ice Queen timeline. Another TikTok stitched together clips of co-stars praising each other, and conspicuously not Meghan. The comments, brutal. She's giving Regina George vibes. Suddenly, Rachel Zane makes sense. Funny how no one's defending her. And that's where it all circles back. The silence. If Meghan truly was the sweet, empathetic colleague her brand claims she's always been, why hasn't anyone spoken up? Not one co-star, not one director, not even a costume designer with a fond memory. Nothing but polite distance. And in gossip world, polite distance isn't neutral, it's damning.